Hi guys, Casually Clutching here. This is going to be a tutorial on how to manipulate the camera in Crash Bandicoot in the Insane Trilogy. So there are two ways you can manipulate the camera. Method one is via the Alchemist tool, which is a modding tool you can use to manipulate the files in NST. The only thing I know how to do with it is make the camera follow Crash on specific levels where it doesn't usually follow Crash too well, which is really useful for if you ever want to go out of bounds and the camera isn't following Crash, for example. But if you're not interested in that, if you're only interested in manipulating the camera via cheat engine to allow free roam, skip to part 2, the timestamp should be on screen. First things first, you're going to want to head to the Alchemist page on the website The Warp Room. I would put a link in the description, but my YouTube channel doesn't allow links yet, so just Google that and find this page. Go down to version 1.10 and simply download it, or spam click download until you get through enough pop-up ads to where it eventually does actually download. Then simply extract the folder and open the Alchemist application. Once in Alchemist, you want to go to the top left to go File, then Open, and then find the level that you want to manipulate. So in this case, you'll have to go to Steam, Steam Apps, Common, Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy, and the Archives, and then the level should be in there somewhere. In this case, we'll be using Native Fortress as an example. Once all of the Native Fortress files have loaded up, like so, you want to hit this Import from Pack button. You'll then want to head back to the Archives folder that you were in earlier and find Turtle Woods and open that. Then you want to go down to the Maps drop-down section, the Crash 2 drop-down section, the Turtle Woods drop-down section, and tick the box next to the Legacy camera, then press OK. Then on the sort of main menu, you want to go to Maps, Crash 1, Native Fortress, click on the Native Fortress camera, click the Replace Within Pack button, and then go back down to Maps one last time. Crash 2, Turtle Woods, and then the Turtle Woods Legacy camera, select OK, and then go to File and Save. I don't know about you and your computer, but for me and mine, after I hit save, it takes like a minute and a half before the program becomes responsive again and I can actually close it. And now you can finally launch the level that you manipulated, preferably via the NST level selector, which is also on the Warp Room. I highly recommend downloading it. It's way faster than just launching the game. And the camera will now be different. Assuming you have your controller plugged in and connected to Steam, you should be able to move the camera with the right analog stick. But regardless, it'll be following Crash constantly. You're not going to have to worry about it getting stuck when you go out of bounds, which is really useful for practicing out of bounds tricks and glitches and speedrunning. It's also just like a cool way to play the game, and it does affect the physics a little bit. You'll notice that I get like a quadra snipe there. That just does not happen in the normal game. So yeah, it's pretty cool. If you're interested in sharing this manipulated camera with other people, relaunch Alchemist, go to File, open Recent, and open the one you just manipulated. Then go back to File and Save As. Just call it Update, put it somewhere out of the way, then send it to your friends. They should be able to download it and put it in their Archives folder. You also could have just done this earlier yourself. Instead of file saving, you can file save as, save it as update.pak, and then put it in your archives folder. However, this isn't always ideal because for speedrunning purposes, you can't have Crash Helper launched if you have an update.pak file in your archives. So I generally prefer to overwrite the original file instead of having an update.pak in my archives, but to each their own. Also, I guess it's worth noting that you can use Cheat Engine's camera manipulation even if you've replaced a camera file in the Alchemist tool. However, I don't recommend doing this because the camera will just fight you really hard to get Crash on the screen. Like, if you try to get Crash off the screen via the camera mod, it'll send you all the way backwards so that Crash is in the center of the screen. Once you're done with this camera and you want to revert it, either delete the update.pak file if you did it that way, or if you overwrit the original file, go to Properties and just verify the integrity of your game files in Steam. Honestly though, I'm not really sure if this is the most optimal way to do all of this. This is just the way that I know how to do it, so it's the way that I'm teaching. Now moving on to part 2, manipulating the camera in free roam via Cheat Engine's camera mod. As I said in part 1, YouTube won't let me post links in the description on this YouTube channel just yet, so just go to speedrun.com/nst/resources as I do here, and then at the top of the resources you should see the camera mod posted by me. Open both of these links to Cheat Engine and the camera mod. Press the big green button to download Cheat Engine if you don't already have version 6.7 or higher, and then press the Insane Trilogy r3.zip button to download that. Then install Cheat Engine, again, assuming you haven't already got version 6.7 or higher. For this video I'm using 7.3, but it shouldn't really matter. Then extract the zip I asked you to download and open the Cheat Engine file insaner03. Then if you haven't already got NST open at this point, you'll definitely want to open it now because you want to select it as a process by hitting this magnifying glass on the screen and then hitting NST. Then just do as I do, select yes, you want to keep the current address list. Then go back to Cheat Engine, scroll down, and you'll see the different camera speeds. You can do normal, fast, or super fast. I just choose fast for this video. Then to get the free camera, just select Get Camera, disable camera rights, normal, both the yours, the Z, and the X, and that's it. You have access to the free camera now, so to speak. This is all very bare bones. You can mess around with the settings a little bit more and do some slightly different things. I don't know how to do any of that, so I'm just showing you what I know how to do. It's like really cool. You can see pretty much the entire level, or everything that's loaded in at least. You can rotate the camera, although it is very, very slow, move up and down, left and right. Literally just free roam. It's really cool. Here are the controls on screen now, although right pitch, number 2, for some reason, just doesn't work properly. If you're like me and have a 60% keyboard, then the video is not finished for you yet. If you don't have a 60% keyboard, then you're good to go. But if you do have one, obviously you can't access the numpad, and I don't know how to change the settings within Cheat Engine, so I just use this app called Anti-Micro. I'm sure there are other solutions, but this is the one that was first shown to me. Shout out Silver. Basically, it allows you to bind keys from your keyboard onto your controller. This app can be found both on the Microsoft Store and on GitHub. Launch the app with your controller plugged in, and as you can see by me mashing shit, obviously it's detecting it. On the screen is just my preferred bindings for the camera mod. I like to use the right analog stick to go up, right, left, and down, because that right analog stick is not getting any use in Crash Bandicoot NST anyways. And I like to use the bumpers for height and the triggers for yaw. Here are the bindings again at the top of the screen. Using the bumpers and the triggers might get a little bit tricky in Crash 2 and Crash 3, where you have sliding and powers. You might just have to find some other solution, like remapping keyboard keys onto other parts of the keyboard, for example, or just changing the controls in Cheat Engine. I don't fucking know. I'm truly just terrible with computers, but nobody else was rushing to make a tutorial for this, so I suppose it'll have to suffice. Feel free to save the Anti-Micro file if you like, go back into the game, and the controller should work just fine. If you're having any troubles, feel free to leave a comment. I'll do my absolute best to help, but no promises. Thank you for watching. Really hope it helped out.